To start this closing session, dear colleagues, we need a microphone.
The microphone. No. You can say. That one is on, you say. You can try.
Yes, it works. You start.
Okay, we have now come to conclude this seminar. Is it working? No, because I asked to put on this one and then I'm speaking to this one. Yeah. So we will point out some key conclusions, not exhaustive, a lot has been said, but we will point out a few elements and challenges that has come during these 2 days. First of all, we will talk about the process of programs development. Somebody or some people have said there was a lack in the formalization of this process of analysis, needs analysis and design. And there has been quite answers in the workshops this afternoon, for example. The second point is about learning as a tool for change. What is the hidden demand? What is the objective? What is the result and the expectations? I could add some other words after the last workshops with Stefan. This was done just before, but I could add what is the problem, what is the activity, and what are the representations of the problem. Then as a third point, the design of programs for a specific audience is in tension between, on one hand, the individualization of programs for one single learner, and at the other end, MOOCs programs made for mass, everybody, every kind of people. You continue?
Okay. The second elements we would like to point it out is this intimate dimension of learning, so the emotional learning process. This element has been addressed by Regina, and probably it's one of the most important contribution of adult education to university education and to higher education learning. It has been reported and mentioned in different working groups this morning, but also this afternoon. And what has been highlighted is that this intimate dimension is important in the design phase, but it's probably most important also in the implementation phase, and it raised the question, how could we train our teachers or professors to integrate this dimension? The third point we would like to highlight is the one, the point presented by Timo this morning about the new and emerging professions, and also because it raised the question how the competencies are evolving and what kind of new transversal or specific skills do we need. So globally, by we, I mean the society needs, and what kind of new jobs are emerging. Many questions have been raised during the working session of this morning concerning who finally is in charge to define the list of needed competencies. Who is in charge, or who has to do this? Is it the role of the universities, or is it the role of some actors of the social society, or of the enterprise, or do we have to do it collectively, and how? What kind of methods, what kind of approach do we have to adopt in order to do that? And who has to identify new roles, new jobs? Sorry, is it the individual worker, or is it more collective again? And how to do it? The third, and I think the last element we have pointed out, coming from the work of this morning and this afternoon, is the evolution. And somebody insists on the fact that it's more an evolution than a change, evolution of university roles. We have probably faced to define or to redefine the specificities of universities when we look or when we listen to the external perceptions. I think that many of us have been interested but also surprised by the company perception yesterday evening when they told that the main advantage or the competitive advantage that university could have is its consultancy capacities, but also its certification capacities. So I think it could be a good question. What about our expertise? What about our research capacities, our teaching or learning facilitation capacities, critical thinking, independence? So I think we have to deal with these external perceptions. Obviously, there are many market opportunities, but do we have to tackle or do we have to address all these market opportunities? And not only the roles of the university has to change, but also there are new roles within the universities, and many questions was risen concerning the involvement of faculties, how to involve the professor in this process. And finally, and it's not my comment, I insist, few of you have pointed out that it's important that universities need a vision and a strategy for lifelong learning. Those comments were very welcome for UCAN, I think, because as you know, there are two UCAN projects dealing with this question. The main one is Allium, because Coming is still running, but Allium has tried to develop tools in order to help university to define their vision and their strategy in the field of lifelong learning. Okay, yeah.
Then we have pointed out a few questions for further research based on the work we have done this morning. The first one was, which is the impact of the activity of professors and researchers as jury members in APL, RPL process? What does it bring to their vision of professional needs, of education needs of professionals? The second point is the impact of self-financing of ULLL programs on the audience, of course, on the content. Has it limits? Would we need to address this question to better fit the demand? Well, it's a question.
I continue? Yes. Okay. The third one could be the how to better understand this categorization of formal, non-formal and informal learning, because as we know there is some political definition, but there are some research trying to define this categorization, but if you look at the French-speaking literacy or the English-speaking literacy, they are slightly different, so I think it could help the practitioners to have to better understand this categorization if it needed, or at least we have to better understand that in order to bridge, if we would like to bridge the non-formal, the informal, and the formal learning. The third one is more concerning this meta-analysis competency. In fact, we haven't spoken so much about the portfolio competencies, the capacity of the adults to have some self-analysis and a better understanding of its own learning process. And a few of you mentioned also that we haven't addressed the question of migrants or some specific targets, just like those 50 or plus. But globally, I think on behalf of UCAN and UCAN organizers, I think we can thank you very much for your participation, your involvement, your quite active, I hope so, participation in this seminar. We would be very pleased if you could fill in the evaluation form, which is within your pocket, because as Andrea, our president, has explained yesterday, it's a new format of seminar, and we are very interested to know about your perception about this format. And before closing the session, I would like to invite Tamer from Turkey to present the next conference of the next UCAN conference. Please, I don't know if you have some slides. Wait. Thanks.
Thank you, Françoise. Thank you, Aydoba, for your final remarks. Dear colleagues, dear friends, I do not want to take your much more time at the end of this session. Therefore, I'm not going to use the presentation because you have already the brochures of the seminar in your seminar kits. So, but I would like to highlight some points. First, the dates. The dates. The next conference will be in 3rd to 5th of June. And it will take place in Istanbul at my university, Boğaziçi University, which has a panoramic view of the Bosphorus. So I think you will appreciate the location. But in the meantime, you may just check from the webpage about all the tips related with the conference. But I would like to highlight the thematic of the conference. So the motto of the conference is to build the bridge in ULLL, but there are 3 strengths. One of them is the higher education and vocational education and WETS collaboration. During this our seminar here, we also discussed lots of things about this, so it will be chance to just to go deeper in our conference. And the diversity of the learning forms are also going to be handled. And lastly, the new forms of partnerships in between the institutions, especially to the ones that I mentioned in this aspect, are going to be 3 strengths of the conference. So as a last word, we will be highly appreciated and very much delighted to see you in Istanbul in June. Come and join us. Thank you.
So thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. Go safely back home, and see you tonight, I hope so, and see you certainly in Istanbul in June.
Just some
formal, yes, a practical organization.
If you go to the dinner tonight to Hotel Claris, 7:15 in the entrance. Yes, or you can go directly. You have a map and the address. But if you want to go together, 7:15 we'll leave. Okay?